Good afternoon, everybody. James, crazy day because in this condition, which was shown on the photo, you made a history today. So first of all,
Thank
congratulations.
You. Cheers, thank you as well.
Show the proof of your...
I did it, finally.
Yes. Beautiful. James, we have a story to tell because when we met, I remember vividly, you didn't want to drive the car, you just wanted to sit in the car, you just wanted to talk to me. So what was the situation? If you could explain to the next candidate, that would be lovely.
So I have got ADHD and I'm on the autistic spectrum. Not relatively mildly, but nonetheless it's something I have to kind of deal with. And for me, like my previous experience of like trying to learn to drive, there's a lot, my last two instructors were all very abrupt and very kind of, they weren't as patient as I'd like in terms of giving me the time to think and process like I would like to. With ADHD especially, like sometimes your brain's going like so fast and you're trying to take in all the stimulant of the things happening on the road and things, what happening around you. And then to have someone who's not being very patient while you're trying to decode it all, it's just very difficult. So the first lesson, I was kind of a bit for my benefit to get to know you, but ultimately for my benefit to just check that we would.
Is this really the real person?
How patient? Yeah, is this guy going to be patient enough to have a lesson where I don't get in the car? Like, you drive me around in a block. Oh, that's very good. But it was just my way personally of just checking that I was going to be comfortable, and it evident pretty much straight away that it was, and the difference as well. Like the vehicles that I was learning in before were not particularly great. Like they would definitely been battered and abused over quite a long time, whereas like immediately sat in the Mercedes, it was just
the green one. Because you get this one in the last 2 weeks.
I feel reminiscing of the green one.
Yes,
in the green cars on it.
Yes.
But the quality of the car and the quality of the instruction and the calmness just makes it so much easier and such a nicer environment to learn in. Also, again, for me personally, the encouragement around and the enthusiasm around learning with automatic was a huge deal, because again, when you're with ADHD, you're struggling sometimes to get you'll have a checklist of things to do. Your mirror and your signals, and you're checking all these things. You might know you need to do them, and you might deliver, but you could deliver them in the wrong order because you're going all over the place. And then having a clutch to deal with on top of that, and then get manual, it was just awful. But actually, being shown the automatic and being not just instructed how to use one efficiently, but kind of shown the merits of it, that was a big difference as well for me. It was just to have someone really with a passion for the automatic and the encouragement on that front, and it was just so much easier then to manage.
That's the future. I think it's the right time the industry will get rid of from the manual cars, because all cars, you can't really buy a brand new car now with a manual gearbox. So that's definitely the future.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of future, the latest addition to the fleet is rather spectacular.
Fully electric.
Yeah, fully electric. The mock test for me was really good to do. I think the value that you get from that may vary from person to person, but I think it's absolutely crucial that you do it, because it made me come to terms with I can pick your instructor. You can't necessarily pick your examiner. You can't pick the personality that you're going to be with for that moment. So turning off your normal charm and getting down to the nitty gritty, and this is how the test runs. That was as much as learning where the minors are and learning what I need to improve. That was a key part for me, and personally as well, was to kind of have an experience like that and be able to manage it and come out the other side with some kind of pointers to work on. I think the mock test, the fact that previously there wasn't even a suggestion of doing a mock test with any of my previous instructors, and I got reasonably far with all of them. Like, might not have been at test level, but it would have been an opportunity to talk about minors and how they occur and what you need to do to avoid them. But yeah, if you're not doing a mock test, you're going to struggle, in my opinion. I think it's really important to do it.
Absolutely. You had a couple of challenges today during your test. Very, yes, I'll leave it to you because you can explain it. I was sitting behind you, obviously. I was enjoying it, but I was praying at the same time.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. Firstly, I managed to put all of my belongings on all of the seats, and the car was like unhappy. It was like, put your seatbelt on.
Somebody's sitting.
Somebody, yeah, there's a ghost in the back seat, but it's like that's fine. We sorted that easily and perfectly fine.
We fixed it. The examiner was very nice.
Yeah, really lovely. Again, I think at the end of the day, they sat there doing test after test after test, and don't forget they're human. I guess the comfort they've got, knowing that there's the jaw brake's just there for them if they need it and everything. I think it just sets them at ease too. Then then what else happened? We had just
interrupting you because that's fine, don't worry. I explain it to you. So basically, if the examiner sees the candidate is a very good driver, they're very happy to help because we are humans. We make small mistakes, but at the end of the day, they need to make the decision: is this gentleman going to be able to drive alone when I'm coming towards to him and I would be comfortable with? Yes. If the examiner says yes, and they're happy to help you. If somebody is not on the test standard, obviously the examiner not going to help that person, because if they help and they get through the candidate with luck on the driving test, they know that the driver is not going to be safe.
Yeah.
So, if we can demonstrate we are very good drivers, the examiner would approach us in a very, very different way.
No, definitely. I think I took a test earlier in the year, and I think the key, and that didn't work out at that time, but I think the key learning that I took from that and moved to today was just the mood that you choose to enter that situation. It has such a power over what you do that day, and actually just separating myself from that previous attempt and actually being calm and treating it like you were on holiday, or that was one of the best things you told me heading in today. Was like,
some of my colleagues,
it's just a colleague, it's just someone else, just do what they do what you do for in our lesson, and you'll be fine. And I did, and I was fine, and it was brilliant. I was really happy to see it kind of come round. Finally a functioning adult at 34.
Yes, absolutely. What would you advise, James, if somebody has these same health conditions? Because obviously it's a big deal for everybody, but if somebody has extras on their plate, what would you say? How would they need to choose the instructor? What do they need to look for? How do they approach into the test?
I mean, the things I always say is like, if your patience is the main thing, right? And the only way that you can test someone's patience in a weird way, the only way you can learn how comfortable you are with someone is to actually have, at the start, we didn't book everything. We booked one lesson at the start. Are you going to be comfortable with me? That kind of thing. Whereas previous instructors were like, no, it's a block of 10, it's a block of 12, and you kind of feel stuck then. It's like
I said at the very beginning, don't book 10 hours, just see me once.
Yeah, see me once.
And that's my assistant says everyone.
Yeah.
Don't book 10 lessons, see him, and if you're happy, then you would continue. If not, you just walk away. It's very important to compare the person. I always encourage who is seeing me first attempt. I always say, if they haven't seen an instructor previously, go out, shop around, find somebody else as well, have at least 1 or 2 lessons, and then you can compare.
Yeah,
it's very important.
Exactly that, because that was the point where I knew straight away. It's like, well, this is my last instructor now. It might be day one, but that's what I wanted to do. That's how I wanted to kind of go forward. Especially the key thing with on the ADHD side as well is I have to take medication for that, and depending where I am in the day after immediately taking that, it can quite affect you in terms of how the first few hours can be quite intense in terms of you might be a little bit more anxious or a little bit more jumpy, as it were, in those. So
as the medication kicks off.
Yeah, as it kicks off. So today I moved that earlier in the day, just so by the time I was in my lesson, it had time to come down and settle as well. Also eating, especially if you've got ADHD, one of the difficulties that we have is maintaining a level of alertness without feeling like we crash after a meal. So bananas. Today's learning. Get some bananas. Have a banana about an hour, half an hour before, just because there's some sugars in there. There's some kind of there's
blood sugar level is the fuel for our brain.
Yeah,
obviously that's always saying. Sometimes they come from the first lesson, empty stomach, and half of the lesson, the concentration level whoosh, disappears because we don't have enough fuel in our brain.
Yeah, and that's it's a big challenge on the.
But you have a very special night last night before the test. So when you text me, I thought, dear me,
my darling 60-month son, he decided to, God bless him, projectile vomit over the entirety of his bed, the floor over the bed, our bed on the opposite side of that. And I was just like, again today, just at the start of the day, feeling a little bit tired and a bit warm from that. It's like, oh, now I've got to do this. And actually, again, remember what you said, just take it like a normal lesson, it's fine. Manage to turn it around and be okay. But yeah, I think with the added come down and relief now from having completed everything, I think a good nap this evening might be on the cards.
Beautiful. I think, James, your story, your successful driving test today, it's really, really important for those people who are hold back because they think, oh, I can't do that because I have this kind of...
I've had people say to me previously, who will go unnamed, but I've had the sentence like, oh, should you drive? Like, I think the car moves faster than you can think. And it's like, that hurts. But actually, it's the same. Like, I don't bump into people walking down the street. It's that once you get to that level and feel that comfort, it's the same as anything else as well. So yeah, don't despair and don't discredit yourself from being able to do these things. It's just a case of finding the right person who's willing to teach you in a way that works for you. Like, I love the fact we've always got like some diagrams or some some charts we can use. Lesson plans. Like the lesson plans are hugely important, and to have that material to hand to support the learning is a real, like, I've never seen anyone do that. Like that's hugely helpful, and it just lays that extra bit of foundation so you feel confident going in. We know what we're doing. My other instructor's like, what did we do last week? So, well, I mean,
the person was asking you.
Asked me. I was like,
this side should know exactly what you have done.
It's like, I don't know. I was terrified. I was just, trying to keep up. But, the diagrams that you have as well of like the junctions. It's fine. Just there. Like all the different junction types and that kind of thing. Again, learning differently, that's a massively useful tool, because I don't need to just know how, but I need to know why, and I want to know what it looks like. And like, the first time I fully understood about how to use roundabouts was with that diagram, because you start to understand that the flow of other traffic and where they're headed and why. It's
on my YouTube channel, so if you would love to see that, there is a full explanation what I delivered to you face to face. So feel free to look at it.
Well worth a look. But it's been revolutionary, really. Like, I had around probably the same amount of time with previous instructors and was nowhere near ready, and then it was long enough ago as well for it to be pretty much start from zero with yourself and look at where we are. So,
and sometimes you came to the lesson and then you said, look, it doesn't really matter what is in the plan today, but for today I would like just circulating around the location, not doing anything, because
again, like, because when you've got similar issues and stuff, like if work's overwhelming that day, or if something kind of really affects your routine or affects your kind of mood or your kind of stability, it can be really hard then to concentrate on new things. And rather than do that and then punish yourself for it, I'd rather keep in a positive zone of let's just keep where we are and recap. And again, if the patient's there and the instructor, that shouldn't be a big ask. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, yes. I never pushed you out of your comfort zone. When you said, this is my level today, I would love to do this, be happy to do it. We can always tailor-made the plan. We can always adjusting it.
And the transition as well, from going from being like at work, guess working from home as well. It's like, you're like,
jumping out of the keyboard.
4:59, closing an email down. 5 o'clock in the car. Like, we've driven pretty much without fail every lesson, probably after about 10 lessons when we started here.
Yes.
Just around the the block here.
Getting the transition in our brain
and
from working mode to driver mode.
My wife's going to be really confused that whatever trip we ever start now, it's going to be driving around the block first, just to get used to it. But no, it's good to have that routine, and it's good to have these little kind of almost like superstitious kind of like things to help you transition into driving from immediately working and things like that.
Also for me very interesting the transition, your attitude towards the driving, because at the beginning you said, look, I really hate to drive, but I have a son that time was 1 year old. I have to drive. And now what's happened, you wanted to learn, you wanted to go for the test, and you already bought your car.
I bought.
Regardless, we haven't passed the test yet. Because I told you, if you're not going to pass today, James, nobody is going to pass, because you are on that level. So that level gave you the encouragement 2 weeks ago to buy your own car.
Buy my own car and book a holiday I have to drive to next week.
So we need to practice a little the motorway.
Which was a bit like, oh, that's daring. And I was like, yeah.
Immediately.
It would be okay. We'll be fine.
But that's very important. You know, I always say everybody, you need to like to drive.
And
because if you hate to drive, if you need to go every single day commuting with the car, if it's an extra stress for you in the morning and the evening when you're going home, your life would be ruined. But if you enjoy it, if you have a music on it, you even have the music on it during the driving test, because you had to have a little bit of distraction, and we had the music on during the driving test.
I had just put the radio on
legally
quietly.
We can do that. So if you do it quietly, not disturbing you, we can say, that's fine. Whatever helps you, just do it, James.
It just breaks that horrible silence of just waiting for the next thing. But having the radio on quiet was a big thing as well. The other thing I wanted to mention as well, so we talked about buying a car. Zsolt helped quite a lot in this procedure, and which again is like, I've never heard anyone's instructor helping like this, but like, you know, in terms of what kind of things to look for, what are you after, oh, have you tried these, oh, I know, you know, having lessons where we would drive to a showroom and have a little 10-minute break at showroom, just like go have a look, and doing that and getting you excited about the end goal and visualizing life after rather than thinking about this test in between has made a huge difference. Like having the holiday was probably, don't book a holiday, not immediately after. Don't book yourself. Maybe that wasn't. I'm not recommending that.
If you learn from me.
Okay.
Then fair. I guarantee you will go for the holiday.
Just go for the holiday then. But like having that thing to look forward to afterwards, other than just having the license, or having something to aspire to, some motivation beyond, oh my God, I've got a test on Friday, makes a huge difference. Because I wasn't sat there in the test today going, oh God, what next? I was sat there going, holiday next week. Right, just to get this out of the way, holiday next week. And
tomorrow go for shopping with your own car.
Yes.
Putting the seat in your little one, the child seat. So fabulous. Absolutely. And we have to mention it, we have a test in the morning with Anastasia. In the other video, you can watch it, because I have 2 tests today and both of you passed first attempt with me. So
congratulations as well.
Very good. Any advice? How did you find me, by the way? Did you just Google me, or what's happened?
I did Google you. I moved here around the same area in January 2020. Fun time to move. And I was looking for lessons, and I found you on the Google map because I was like, oh, there's a school next door. We kind of found you on a kind of Google search. Then from there to YouTube, I was like, this is impressive. And it was weird. It's like being a YouTube celebrity turning up for your first lesson after a while.
So James, absolutely, you are a role model for everybody, and then I just can take my hat off and then congratulate you, because your achievement is remarkable.
Yeah, I'm so pleased.
Absolutely, congratulations.
Cheers.
One more time.
Thank you,
and best of luck to the next
Good
one.
luck.
Thank you very much. Bye.